Good morning. I think we'll start with the class. I'll be just taking for 20 odd minutes. So I thought before going with the joints, I would like to discuss on factors which are influencing cement concrete pavement. And if you see the syllabus in module 5, the flow of contents is same as it is mentioned in this screen. Okay, so properties of subgrade, it has been mentioned, and properties of concrete and external conditions also it has been mentioned. So I thought I'll be discussing few points on these are nothing but the factors which are influencing when you construct a cement concrete pavement. uh, so quickly we'll start. I have a meeting again. Yeah, so you can see the screen over here. You can see the properties. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And almost all have done good in payment design. I think it was simple, but still you have done uh, good. I hope you could access the answers for the questions. I had released the answers.
No, sir, I didn't get.
What about others? Did you check the answers? Because you would have got a mail to your whatever the mail ID you had provided.
Yes, sir.
The responses would have come to that mail ID.
Sir, I got the response, sir. But answer keys, you're talking about answer keys, sir.
Yeah, with answer keys, you'll be getting.
Okay, sir. I'll check once, sir.
What about others? Chaitra, Anuradha, did you get?
No, sir, we didn't check only. Only we checked the marks.
Okay, you got only
Yes, sir, I got answer keys are there, sir.
answer. You got Anuradha?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think you get the answers also. You can check that. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Answer is also available.
Yes, yes. Okay. We'll start with the class now. Okay. So these are the properties, I can say, or these are the factors which are influencing the design of cement concrete pavements. So these are the prior data which you require before you construct a rigid concrete pavement. Okay. So first thing is you need to know about the loading condition on the cement concrete pavements. So in loading, we need to know about wheel load and its repetition. Okay, so as and how the wheel load increases for that section of rigid concrete pavement. Suppose there is a higher wheel load coming on the pavement. Okay, then automatically the thickness of the slab should be on a higher side. Okay, so wheel load induces stresses in the slab. So what are the different causes of stresses which are produced on the slab is one factor is the load which is coming from the traffic or vehicles. Okay. Then the second may be temperature variation wherein temperature stresses are induced on the slab. Okay. So one is the wheel load stresses, then temperature stresses are there, then frictional stresses are there. So we analyze all these three types of stresses which are caused on the slab. Okay. So wheel load induces stresses in the slab. So higher the wheel load, greater is the stress which is induced on the slab. Okay. So if you consider highways and all, you have a number of axles which are plying. What I mean to say is, it is a heterogeneous traffic which is moving on the highways. Right from you have single wheel axle loads, dual wheel axle loads, tandem, okay, tri-axle loads, multi-axle loads are coming. So it is very important that we convert all these different axles into one standard axle, and we have discussed that standard axle how much it should be. So standard axle as per IRC provision, it should be 8,200 kgs. Okay. So if you consider a standard axle, I hope you understand what is the axle by now. Okay. So axle, if you consider the axle of a vehicle, now as per IRC, the legal load coming from that axle, it should be limited to 8,100 kg. Okay. And if you consider only one part of the axle, okay, so one part of the tire, then the load that can be carried by that tire, that portion of the tire, it is 4,100 kg. Okay. So axle, if it is there, then it is 8,100. Now it has been revised. It has been revised to 10.2 tons. Okay. But as per the syllabus and whatever we are studying, it is 8.2 tons. Yesterday also I had asked this question. So it is legal axle is 8.2 tons or 8,200 kgs. Now, what do you mean by the repetitions? Now, as and how the payment over the period of time, the number of repetitions coming from the wheel load is also increases. Okay, and that is also estimated. Okay, so that is nothing but the repetitions. That repetition, it will be coming again. Number of repetition implies with the fatigue behavior of the concrete as well. There is a permanent structural damage which is causing to the payment. So it is important for us to know what amount of wheel load is coming on the payment, and what is the number of repetitions by these loads over the period of time. So by this we can design the life of the payment. So this is the first factor. Okay. Then area of contact of wheel. Now we have solved number of problems in payment design with respect to the area of contact. Okay. So for our simple analysis, we assumed that the area of contact made by the wheel, it takes place in a circular manner. Though it is not a circular manner, for simpler analysis purpose, we take it as a circular manner to calculate the stress which is caused by the wheel. Okay. And here the tire pressure plays an important role. Contact area is dependent on the tire pressure. Okay. And tire pressure by commercial vehicles is making predominant damage to the payment. Okay. So we usually take for commercial vehicles, and commercial vehicles, the tire pressure varies from 5.3 to 6.3 kg per centimeter square. Okay. So you must have seen the buses and all, they mention this tire pressure in terms of PSI, pounds per square inch. Okay. So usually it will be 80 PSI. Okay. So 80 PSI means it will be somewhere around 5.3 to 6.3 kg per centimeter square. So we need to know have the thorough knowledge about what is the amount of pressure created by the vehicle tires as well. So this is the second criteria. Okay. Area of contact of wheels. Then location of load with respect to the location of load with respect to, one second, yeah, location of load with respect to the slab. Fine. So the stresses are analyzed on the slab based on critical loads. It is not analyzed for throughout the slab, okay, throughout the length and width of the slab, but it is analyzed only for the critical locations. Okay. So this third point says location of load with respect to slab, it is done for critical loads. Those critical loads are with respect to the interior loading of the slab. Okay. So whatever the wheel load stresses or temperature stresses, these are analyzed only in case of critical load positions. Those positions are, one is interior loading, second is edge loading, and the third is corner loading. Okay. So these three locations are considered to be critical, and analysis of stresses is done only in case of these three loadings. I hope this is clear. Okay. So this is about the loading condition. So we need to know about what type of how much magnitude of wheel load is coming and their repetitions. Then area of contact of wheel, then location of load with respect to the slab. This is the first criteria what we need to understand. Then properties of subgrade also plays an important role in cement concrete pavement. Okay, so if your strength of the subgrade soil is on a higher side, or if it is having better bearing capacity, then the slab thickness requirement will be on a lower side. Okay, so if your subgrade property or subgrade strength is on a lower side, or bearing capacity of the subgrade is on a lower side, then the thickness requirement of the slab will be on a higher side. Okay, so usually how we evaluate the strength properties of subgrade is through various tests. Okay, so if you are going for flexible plate and all, then what is the strength evaluation in case of flexible plate? Can anyone tell? Flexible pavement design, if you want to go for flexible pavement design, and if you want to know the strength property of soil there, so soil subgrade, what is the test you want to go for? We have done this test.
Plate load test, CBR test.
For yeah, it is in case of flexible, it is CBR test. Okay, and in case of rigid concrete pavement, it is through plate load test. Good. Okay, so it is the plate load test through which we calculate the bearing capacity of the soil. Okay, and then we find out the value of K, capital K, that is nothing but modulus of subgrade reaction, K. So in module 4, we understand about when we solve the analysis of stresses and all, there we use this K value, modulus of subgrade reaction, which is from plate load test. We get K value from plate load test. Okay, so it is very important to know or understand about the subgrade strength and properties. Properties in the sense, again, what are the characteristics of the soil with respect to the drainage parameters? Okay, so if you have the clay soil, okay, it blocks, or the drainage condition is very poor in case of clay soil. So it is important to understand what is the bearing capacity of the subgrade soil and properties with respect to the drainage parameters. Okay, then based on the strength of the subgrade only, we come to know whether we need to provide a sub-base provision or it can be omitted. Okay, so what are the important functions of the sub-base here? One important thing is it provides a uniform and firm pavement support. Okay, it provides the support to the pavement or the slab. Then it provides mud pumping. Okay, so if your slab is directly laying on subgrade, then mud pumping is more often failure found on the rigid pavement. So if you are providing sub base in between your slab and subgrade condition, then that mud pumping can be avoided. And to provide the frost action, frost action is a failure which is found in cold regions. Okay, so that also we can provide as a resistance. Then it also acts as a capillary cutoff. If you are providing sub base in between the slab and the subgrade, then it acts as a barrier for capillary rise of water from the water table towards your different layers of the CC pavement. Okay, so this comes as a properties of the subgrade. Then next important thing is when you are constructing a cement concrete pavement, we need to understand what type of concreting is going for. So strength, your slab thickness, again it depends directly on the strength of the concrete, what grade of concreting you are going for. Okay, obviously if you are going for M40 grade of concrete, then the slab thickness will be on a lower side when you are considering M25. Okay, so strength of the concrete. Again, strength parameters, evaluation of strength of concrete can be done through various ways. As you know that always the concrete is better in compression, or crushing strength is on a higher side compared to the flexural strength. So we usually for cement concrete pavements, or the specimen what we cast for to check the flexural strength in case of cement concrete, it is through the beam. Okay, 3-point loading you do. You are already done in concrete lab. Okay, so we evaluate the properties of cement concrete strength through compressive strength and flexural strength. and modulus of elasticity. Now, modulus of elasticity is always represented by capital E. Okay, this E, if it is increasing, then that means that concrete has a better strength. Okay, and it plays an important role in determining the relative stiffness of the slab, the value of E. Okay, so modulus of elasticity plays important role in the strength parameter of the concrete. Fine. Then Poisson's ratio. So Poisson's ratio is helpful in determination of stresses in cement concrete slabs. So Poisson's ratio is a property that is needed. Okay, and in case of static condition, we usually assume this Poisson's ratio as a value of 0.15. Okay, so this is the usual value we take for cement concrete. Okay, then shrinkage properties. Now, shrinkage property of the concrete is related to the setting time. So, always concrete expands during setting because of hydration of cement. Okay, so that property we need to understand. Okay, shrinkage property. And fatigue behavior is something related to repetitive number of loads will be coming on the pavement, and over the period of time the concrete will have a internal structural damage. Okay, so that behavior is known as, or that phenomena is known as fatigue behavior. So with respect to the properties of concrete, we need to understand strength, what is the value of E of the concrete, then Poisson's ratio mu, then shrinkage properties with respect to initial setting time or hydration of cement, then with respect to over the period of time, we need to understand what is the fatigue behavior. Okay, so these all things comes under properties of concrete. So I'll be sharing this. This is very appropriately given in Kadiyali and Lal. I'll be sharing that as a PDF for you. Okay, so this is from Kadiyali and Lal itself. Then come external conditions. The first one is temperature changes. Now we discussed on loading. What are the stresses which are caused on the pavement in the CC pavement? Is one is wheel load stresses, then is temperature stresses. So before laying the CC pavement, we need to have a thorough knowledge about what is the temperature of that region. Okay, so what is the variation we experience in that region? So based on that variation, we can understand what are the stresses, how the stresses are caused due to temperature variation. Okay, so temperature changes we need to understand, because why temperature changes are required. As you know that there is a seasonal variation in the temperature and there is a daily variation in the temperature. During daytime there is different temperature, during nighttime there is a different temperature. Okay, and season wise, during summer season you have overall increase in the temperature, during winter season and it will be overall less temperature. Okay, so there is, when there is variation in the temperature, that the concrete slabs, they expand or contract during seasonal variation. So we need to have an idea about changes in the temperature. Okay, and friction between slab and subgrade. So friction between slab and subgrade determines the resistance which is imposed between the slab and the below layer. Okay, so if there is a rough surface below your CC slab, then there will be a higher friction which is developed, and when there is friction, there is a stress which is caused, that is known as frictional stress. Though this stress is on a lower side, but we need to understand how much stress is caused due to friction. Okay, so that is also taken into consideration while doing analysis. Okay, so if you have the smooth surface, then friction will be on a lower side, stress developed between the friction will be also on a lower side. Okay, so then we have arrangement of joints. So why joints come here? Again the same reason, because of temperature stresses, higher there is an expansion or contraction. To cater that expansion or contraction, we go for joints and arrangements of joints. In the sense, there are different kinds of joints. there are transverse joints, there are longitudinal joints. So I'll be discussing in detail about these joints in coming lectures. Okay. And then reinforcement. Again, this reinforcement depends on the condition of that area. Okay, traffic condition. So you can have a plain concrete slabs, or you can have with reinforcement. Okay, so it depends on the demand of that area. Okay, so this is the reinforcement. So the important thing is loading, properties of subgrade, properties of concrete, and external condition. In this, we have the temperature changes. So stresses are caused on CC pavement because of these parameters like loading and temperature, and what type of soil we have beneath the pavement. That also decides the thickness of the slab. So these are the factors I wanted to discuss before we go ahead with the joints and design of the joints, all those things. Okay, I hope you understood these parameters. So these things I'll be sharing as a notes, or if you have Kadiari and Lal, it is given very neatly. They have described about these joints, and I thought of discussing this before going for joints, because I'll show you the syllabus content. Yeah. So when you see the module 5, see here. So functional evaluation, I told this is the same: visual inspection, unevenness measurements, whatever I discussed with the flexible pavement, that can be same here. So wheel load and its repetitions, properties of subgrade, properties of concrete, external conditions, joints, reinforcement. Okay, so whatever I discussed now, all these are the same thing. Okay, so I'll be sharing this thing as a notes. Okay, in the next class we'll go for requirements of joints, types of joints, and individually we discuss about each type of joints. Okay, if you have anything to discuss, you can discuss, or you can leave the class. I hope it is understood.
Yes, sir.
Okay, next class we'll meet with joints, types of joints.
Okay, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, sir.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you.